Hi, my love, and welcome to Yes to Life podcast, a podcast about soulful living and sacred feminine embodiment. It is a podcast about following our dreams, open up to our full potential, and saying yes to life. It is also a podcast about remembering the sacredness of the female body and the feminine essence. My name is Helena. I'm a mother of 6 beautiful children and a sacred, sensual, and feminine embodiment guide. I help women in all stages of their lives to love, adore, and understand their female bodies, to celebrate their feminine essence, and to awakening their inner goddess. I'm the founder of Blissful Feminine Flow and the creatrix of programs like Yoni Flowering, Womb Bliss, Sacred Bleeding, Blissful Mama, Pleasure Queen, and Sacred Feminine Body Love. I have always been very open and sensitive and have a feeling that more is possible. Beside my deep love and curiosity for the female body and the feminine essence, which I got mostly from my own pregnancy, birth, and motherhood, I am also very fascinated about people who have dared to walk their own path and follow their dreams and are showing us that more is possible. I can see the power of us coming together and have these deep conversations about the things that we care about. I can also see the gift of listening to these deep conversations. That's why I started this podcast. If this touches something deep within you, please stay tuned and let's get started with today's episode. So welcome to another episode of Yes to Life podcast. And today I'm here with a new guest, absolutely amazing goddess, a priestess, mermaid, queen, who I have known for many, many years now. And everything she does feels so authentic and pure. And for me, she represents the divine feminine and the mystic and the magic and also freedom. So I'm happy to have her here. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you. Thank you for that very kind introduction.
Yes, that's a few words to describe you. And for those who don't know you, will you say a little bit of who you are and what you're doing now?
That question's always so funny, isn't it? Because it's trying to put all of you into a few sentences. So I'll do my best. I typically sort of refer to myself as a mermaid priestess. I work a lot with the angelic realms and then the whales and the dolphins and the ocean. And that's sort of what I channel through to help my audience and my clients through courses and coaching and magical journeys. And personally, I have been traveling a lot the last few years and getting a lot of inspiration from and activation from everywhere that I've been. Most recently, French Polynesia, like Tahiti, those islands, very Lemurian. And now I've come to Australia for a little while. So I'm sort of in the Lemurian energy right now on in my location.
Yeah, I love that. And as I said in the beginning, I have followed you for many years. I don't know now, 7 years
Wow.
maybe. Yes,
Cool.
and you have shapeshifted into many, many beautiful ways, but your core is the same. I adore you for that because
Yeah.
you can feel that you are following the flow and you are just allowing the soul or the divine to move through you. And that's very unique, I would say, in the way
Wow.
you do it. And it also feels so pure and authentic. And in this realm of female entrepreneurs, and we are trying to share our gifts, that's not so easy. So we can
Yeah.
get a little bit off the line sometimes, but you're following that flow so so authentic, and I really adore that about you.
Thank you so much. That's really, yeah, that means a lot because I definitely try just to really be in that, always listening space, like what wants to come through now. And yeah, sometimes that means you have to let go of what you were even doing 6 months ago and you thought that that was the thing, but it's not the thing anymore.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And you are so inspiring for that, because if you listen to the mm, yes, many rules of how you do it, you
Yeah.
feel stuck. Or especially maybe if you if you have that mermaid dolphin divine feminine aspect very strong inside of you, that doesn't fit.
Yeah, we gotta flow. We gotta flow always. But I feel like lately, like what I've tapped into, like really like listening to the whales when they said many years ago, they're like, you need to like focus on us and channel us. And I was a bit hesitant on even how to do that and how to like put a like even have that in a business. But now that I'm here and I'm like really in the flow of that, I feel like this and then the angelic realms is like, okay, this is like I feel like this is a very long-term situation for me. I feel like I really fine-tune what I meant to do here.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and it feels so you. And maybe we should go there into the dolphins and the whales and the water priestess, maybe. Um,
Yeah, I would
because,
love to.
yeah, and that is so relieving to hear you talk about it and to share it. Like, this is how it is. Because I always felt different, as many of us have done. And I remember my dad said when I was little, I think 2 years, he took me to the uh, bathhouse, we say in Sweden, where we were bathing, and he was holding me under my stomach to hold me over the water. And I was so angry and pushing his hand away, and I was sinking under the water, and he was lifting me up. And every time he did that, I was so angry. And he said when he picked me up, it just came water out of my mouth. But I just wanted to be free under the water. And in the summers, we were having this little house at the ocean, and I was in the ocean for 5, 6 hours a day, and I felt so free and home. Um, and I have done myself wrong for that so many times. And when you
Mm.
share this, it feels so. Uh, I just want to laugh and cry, and at the same time, because it's so relieving to hear someone talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's so many of us who have such a deep love for the ocean and water, but there really isn't that many places you can go in our culture. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go to the beach and watch The Little Mermaid, and like that's what I'll do, right? There isn't really a path that's obvious that you get to really explore how deep that goes in your soul. So I'm really excited about, what I do and what I offer, which is, journeys to really go in and learn like what is this? What is this intense connection to the ocean and water? And then you start to meet, the whales and dolphins on a more conscious level, the mermaids, and really the consciousness of the ocean that I call Mother Ocean. And that's just like it opens up just entire universes. And I think we all kind of like have that feeling, and we're like, since we're a kid, we're kind of like looking for it, but we don't quite have the words, we don't quite have the consciousness yet to open to that. So we're here now.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, you have shared much about the mermaids lately, and I am working with uh, mostly women, and also their sensuality and sexuality and sexual healing and the yoni and the womb, and helping them to reconnect to her. And in every healing guided meditation and activation lately, I just the mermaids just came through, and they wanted to And I take them on that journey out in the ocean, and the mermaid come and heal their specifically the yoni and the womb, and also help them to open the throat. And I have thought for myself, but I've done that now. Are they going to be in this meditation too? And I can't push them away. They want to be with us. And how do you see their both the dolphins and the mermaids connecting to the sexuality and the female sensuality? Is that something that you have seen or?
Oh yeah, definitely. I see a huge connection between the dolphins, the orcas. So orcas, our killer whales, are just the largest species of dolphin. So orcas are also dolphin. And then of course the mermaids, but like, yeah, they have a massive connection to sexuality, sacred sexuality, and the purity that, sexuality really is. And you can just like feel like the water and the fluids and the crystalline fluids of the waters and our sexual fluids. And they really, really help. And actually in dolphin consciousness, which is like my course with the dolphins and the whales, we work with the orcas specifically to support us with sexual healing. Because the orcas are really powerful at transmutation and going into the sort of shadow realms. And, I just, guide my group through like the orcas, like eating the trauma and eating and just like eating it up and just like basically like making it light, like passing it through their bodies and it becomes light again. So there's a massive connection there for sure. And the mermaids, and the mermen and that connection as well. It's so pure. It's so divine. It's so crystalline. So when we work with these beings, it's so beautiful, and it can also really highlight how much it's, we got to let go of, because it's just our culture runs off of predominantly low vibrational sexual energy. Like it's everywhere. And sometimes we don't even notice because it's just we're acclimatized to it. But then when we come in with these beings and work with these beings, it's like, whoa, this is like such pure sexual coding, to start to repattern ourselves with.
Yes. And also, I love how you say that crystalline dolphins and consciousness, and also crystalline waters, and that word crystalline is because it wakes up something inside of every one of us, I think, even if some of us feel that more intensely. And that is also something that is so connected to this dolphin mermaid consciousness. And as you said, sometimes we can't heal it on the level of the trauma. It has to come in a high vibration to help us to release it.
Yeah, I really feel that we're entering a new phase of understanding how to do shadow work. Because I think for a long time the idea or the understanding was just to feel awful for a long time, and hopefully that's going to clear it. It's like, oh, just and it's not that we don't feel it, but really what I feel is the first step to authentically doing that shadow work is to really anchor in the light, because it's the light and it's the love that is going to be the healing and the healer. So it's like, and that's why it's so nice to work with the dolphins, because they're like such light beings. They're just like, dolphins, come here. And they'll like just ethereally, right? For anyone listening, you can just say like, dolphins of divine light, I call you in now. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for connecting with my heart. And you can just imagine sparkles kind of moving through your heart and through your body. And then just allowing, if you need to go down into your womb, to your yoni, and just let those frequencies start to move through you, it's kind of like it's like being underneath a really like beautiful crystalline waterfall, and just letting it wash away. It's not that you don't like, you're going to probably feel it when it washes away. And that's important too, because the dolphins and whales teach us a lot around the emotional body and the importance of feeling, but they also teach us around the mastery of emotions and not being overwhelmed and inundated and getting lost in your emotions, which I think people kind of think of as shadow work. Like, okay, I'm getting lost and like, I'm just getting inundated with this feeling, this emotion, this grief, this all of it. And I'll just stew in it, and that's my shadow work. I'll just stew in it and be here. And it's just not really the way anymore. It's like, it's just like, we want to feel it, but we want to bring it up and then be in that light waterfall to just let it flow through, because we've got other stuff to do right now than be in our fucking pain for days on end. Like, we've got like our missions to fulfill, and that's a lot harder if we're always sad.
Yes, absolutely, so true. And I have felt that too, that spiral of going to that pain and the trauma is not, we it's just a spiral downwards. So
Yeah.
as you said, sometimes we have to feel it to let it go. But I love the way you work with it, and your every meditation or activation you do is so healing, and it's such a high vibration, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And I've been through a really um, what would I call it? I have met a deep trauma that I didn't I have pushed it really deep, and it came up. And then it was just in the time where you had that mermaid, uh, I don't know what you called it. Was it an activation? The last call you have
Yeah,
with the
the
dolphin connection?
receiving from the mermaids of love.
Yes, exactly. And it came so right in time. So when I listened to that, I was so held in that love. And I also felt that everywhere that was thinking I was wrong, maybe that was a gift.
Mm.
And that
Mm.
was a huge
Yeah,
shift.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's like the way that the mermaids, and the Ascended Mermaid Collective sees our trauma. They don't see it like we see it. They don't see it like a problem that we need to get rid of. They just see it as energy that wants to integrate back into the heart and be so loved. Like, they just like, it's just there's no judgment there. It's just, yeah, they're just like, every time I connect with them, they're like, love, love, like so much love. So, and that's not to say, going off of what I shared before, that's not to say sometimes that we don't have dark nights of the soul, because that does happen on the spiritual path. And sometimes there's just a lot that comes up, and it does overwhelm us. And then we're just like in a maybe shadow space for a little while. Maybe it's a few days, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a few weeks, and that can happen. But I also find that the more that I work with these beings and just the crystalline light, the angelic realms, it's like less and less like those times of like the dark night of the soul. Like, it doesn't really happen to me anymore, though. Like, not probably, who knows, maybe tomorrow I can get another big one. But it's like, it doesn't happen like it did before, like 5 years ago for me. It's just like, it just passes through so much more easily now, because when you have like the mermaid energy, the dolphin energy, the crystalline energy, the angelic energy, your soul energy, your higher self, and you're constantly running that through your system every day, not because you like the idea of it and you did an activation once like a week ago, and so you think it's still running. No, you're calling it an everyday consciously, right? And meditation, you're running that through. That's going to keep the channels open. That's going to keep the meridians open. That's going to keep things open, so that when things do come up, because they come up every day, that it's just going to pass so much easier. So it also is around the commitment. It's not just around, oh, I like the idea of this. I like the crystalline, and like, oh yeah, like I totally did a card reading on that like 3 weeks ago. It's like, no, this is devotion. And that's also, I feel like, a mermaid energy. It's the energy of devotion, right? Ocean is in that word,
Oh,
devotion.
yes. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. And that I haven't thought about it that way, but I have felt such a strong devotion and also commitment to the path. And um, everything what comes up is like, are you sure? And then that's no, I can't go another way. I just have to move uh, where I'm going. And that have built much stronger lately. So I totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how do you see the mermaids? What does it, the mermaid consciousness and how they can help us? Is there something more they can do for us than you shared?
Mm. I mean, it's really around like meet, like just calling them in. So you can say, I call on the Ascended Mermaid Collective, I call upon the mermaids of light, I call upon the mermaids of love, the dolphins, the whales, the divine light to come in. And really it's like that phrase, like you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's literally like just spending time with them and calling them in and opening your heart. And even if you don't fully feel them, just call them in anyway. Imagine what they might look like, imagine what they might feel like, or you might feel them, right away. And it's just around being in that resonance that's going to attune you, and ask them for help. You can say, Ascended Mermaid Collective, thank you for helping me to love myself. Ascended Mermaid Collective, thank you for helping my thoughts to be more loving about myself and about the world. Thank you for helping me to see my body in a beautiful way. They help with beauty, they help with love. And anything that you need, you can even bless your water with, those energies, Ascended Mermaid Collective, the mermaid frequencies of love. I call you into this water now as I drink it, even your shower water. It's just like, get it around, yeah. And it will start to shift your resonance to, like, even as I'm talking about it, and they're with me now and with you and with everyone, it's just like that acknowledgement of how worthy we are of love, because humanity, we have such an addiction to suffering. So even listening to this conversation, the ego structure for some people is going to go, no, but that's not it. I really need to like really feel a lot of pain for over and over again in order, like that's spiritual bypassing what they're talking about, right? The ego structure can kind of go to those places. But then when we work with the mermaids, it's just like, you're just gonna be so inundated with love that you're just gonna kind of laugh at that and be like, but it's just about letting love in and loving and acknowledging those places that feel so scary, lifting them up to the heart of your heart consciousness, because they're all about heart consciousness, and letting that pass through, because it's not that we're trying to really cleanse it, cleanse it, cleanse it. It's actually, we're trying to bring it in. We're bringing it in even further to our heart. We're like, come here into my heart consciousness, come here into the light of my heart, because that's the healer. So yeah, the longer we hang out with them, the more that we're able to attune to that resonance of the heart. And I'm very much on the journey of that too.
Yes, absolutely. And I can feel it. And I was thinking when you say that spiritual bypassing, I feel that I have never felt so connected to life and to my body as when I work with the mermaids and the divine feminine too. Um, because it feel like coming home, both um, going out and spreading my wings and expanding, but also going inwards and lighting up every single part of my body too. So I think they help us to raise the vibration in the cells and activate the DNA
Yeah.
and many, many things.
Yeah, bathing it all in love and just so much love. They're so juicy. Like, it's just like how I see it is just like juicy love. Like, just it's so juicy, it's so Shakti, and just like so loving. And they just love everybody and everything. And like literally
Yeah.
all of it. They're like, yes, I love you. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and now we can move a little bit into the Lemurian consciousness,
Yeah.
or what do you
Yeah.
say? Yeah.
Yeah.
And how is that affecting us right now, do you think?
Yeah. So in many ways, first, it's important to understand is that our subconscious and our human collective subconscious and our cellular memory, our DNA genetic memory remembers things that our conscious mind doesn't really allow for various reasons. Um, some of it's just because that would just be way too much information for us to take. And some of it also is there is a veil there, and we're kind of like a bit forgetful about some of the, mystical realms and such.
Yes.
So when we talk about Lemuria and the golden age, especially of Lemuria, we're talking about this like very idyllic, heart-based, heart-centered culture that is so connected to Gaia, so connected to Mother Earth and the trees and the ocean and the whales and dolphins, and so much pure love. And so we are also able to access, when we connect with that soul memory of the beauty of that time, yet we also connect with the grief and the pain of losing it. So what's really also very present for people that aren't even spiritual, that would just laugh at this conversation, but they're still actually experiencing the trauma from the fall of Lemuria, which goes in hand with the fall of Atlantis. They were sort of like interdependent fall in consciousness together, and a fall of, the idyllic ways, the golden ages and the communion. So there's a thread around permission. Like, are we giving ourselves permission to truly live in abundance? And a lot of people, for it, it's a no, because it's like, well, I had that at one point as a soul, and my humanity and all my ancestry, because these are our ancestors too, they're us in other lifetimes, but it's also our ancestry, because this is where we come from, tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years ago. If we feel like we had the golden age, we had the purity, but we lost it, and we didn't just lose it in a tidal wave. No, this was a fall in consciousness that got really ugly, and some very ugly, distorted, sexually distorted even experiences happened to a lot of beings at this time, and then it was destroyed. And those shadow frequencies have continued since the fall of Atlantis. The shadow frequencies that we're seeing now are the same ones that were present in the fall of Atlantis. So it's like, okay, so am I going to allow myself to experience the joy and the abundance of a golden age experience within myself? A lot of people will subconsciously say no,
Mm.
because again, it's that addiction to like, okay, if I can hold the trauma, if I can hold the suffering, at least I can control it. At least it's familiar, but if I let it go and let myself experience joy, if I let it go and let myself experience abundance, I'm so scared that I've lost that control and it's just going to happen again, or a version of that, right? So in order for us to experience, including and especially sensitive light workers, who are, doing this work, is to actually start to investigate how you're being called to heal your Atlantean and Lemurian trauma, so that you really allow yourself and give yourself permission to enjoy the beauty of, what is possible on this planet. And that's a big journey, but that's something the whales and the dolphins and the mermaids can help with, that we can call them in and ask for help with.
Yes. And I think maybe that's what comes up in many. I can see that, especially because I'm working with mostly women. I can see this in men too, but it's in another way. but just in women, I can see the fear of their sensuality, their sexuality, and also their voice and speaking the truth. And when you were talking about this, I could see that much of that fear can come from this, that is so deep inside of us. And of course we can move through it, but to know that this is not the truth, this is something, it's a memory that's stopping me right now. So I can, with help from coaches or guides, and also the mermaids and the dolphins and the whales, move through it, and they can hold me through this doorway into more.
Yeah. And like you don't have to remember exactly what happened to your soul or your ancestors. You can just ask, higher self, wherever there's trauma from the fall of Atlantis and the fall of Lemuria, I surrender this to you. Thank you for helping me to completely transmute this from my 4-body system, from my subconscious, and then just breathe in light. And you can just pray. You can just ask for what you want, ask for the light of your own divinity to come and take that, to the heart consciousness for transmutation. And if you're like me, maybe you're going to have like very visceral experiences of it coming up, and, things feeling pretty challenging in those moments because your body is literally remembering. And we feel it, and then we continue to let it pass through to the light, surrender it to our higher self, surrender it to our heart, surrender it to Mother, Father, God.
Yes, exactly. Oh, but I think it's so when you hear you speaking about it, it's like, okay, that's why I reacting this way, and it doesn't have that same strong hold over you. So it's easier to let it go if you know that this is not this is not for me. This is just something that holds me back. And it is like standing there and I'm going to jump. And if you're afraid, that's scary. But you're such a person, excuse me, that I see jump all the time. Then it's easier.
Yeah, you just gotta just call it just a trillion angels. Just get so much angel light in your field, and then you just jump into the angel light. And even when you freak out, you have enough angel light to keep you somewhat calm.
Yes, exactly. Do you want to share something about your last trip to, where was it?
Yeah, to Moorea, to French Polynesia. Yeah, I mean, I could share. There's like a million stories. Do you want to give me an inspiration question about what thread to follow with my trip?
Was it something that was connected to the dolphins or the mermaids?
Yeah, well, I actually went there to swim with the humpback whales. That's something I've been wanting to do for ages, to swim with the wild humpback whales there. So that brought me there, and yeah, it's Lemuria. It's one of the remnants of Lemuria. The Lemurian consciousness is so strong there. But it was really interesting to be there because I think a lot of us have this idea of Lemuria, and I did subconsciously, like, oh, it's so etheric, it's like, oh, it's like, but actually go to this island that holds such mana, such power. It's like, wow, whoa, this is like in your body, like power. Like this is like in your face Gaia power that you're really connected into, and the Lemurians were really connected into, and like interfacing with this power of Mother Earth and Mother Nature. And it was really real, and it is really real. So just having that, like, oh yeah, it's not just this something we meditate with, like this floaty place that we can go to, it's like this very embodied. It meets us where we are. If we have physical dense bodies, then the Lemurian consciousness will meet us there, and it will go into our bodies, right? It's not something that we need to cleanse to a certain level and get so high in our vibration to experience Lemurian consciousness. It's going to meet us wherever we are in whatever body we're in. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing quite like going out in the most turquoise water you've ever seen to go swim with humpback whales and, just be underwater with them. They're so powerful. And just even when I couldn't see them, because there's sometimes you have a very sort of successful, trip going out, and like, it's wild animals, it's not just like hop in the boat and we're for sure gonna have like the crazy. No, it's like it's different every day. But even the times where we were looking for them and we'd kind of see them close, we'd hop in the water and not sure which way they went, because they'll go down for like 10 minutes. They'll come up, or no, like 20 minutes. Like they can go down for a long time, once they go and you see them, and then they're down for like 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You're like, okay, where are they? Kind of have to guess which direction you swim in. So I could, when we were in the right direction, like I could feel them, because it felt like just crystals inside of my body, like just powerful, like crystals. And I was like, whoa. And you didn't even have to see them to have that transmission from them, obviously, right? Because they're in the water with you. Yeah, just like so amazing. So I'm very blessed to have done that, and like very excited to share, more in the coming months around, what came through from that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I can feel it when you talk about it, because when I was pregnant with one of my daughters, we were out on a trip on the boat, and we were seeing them. So I wasn't in the water, but I was just seeing them,
Yeah.
and I started to cry.
Mm.
She
Yeah.
had that what do you call the child? A calf?
Yeah, like their baby.
Yes, their
It's called.
baby. uh, with her side, and the love from that mother, that was the most beautiful thing I ever felt. Yes, this yes, it was totally amazing. And I wasn't even in the water, I was just watching them.
Yeah, and like you don't even have to be anywhere near the ocean. You really can just call them in. Like I listen to humpback whale songs every night, all night. I just sleep with them. And you really can just call them in. They felt, obviously, when you're physically with them, it's, like comes up a notch, you're physically present, but their frequency is so like what I was feeling and when I was meditating with them and when I was bringing them in. Because previously I hadn't spent much time with humpback whales at all. I had lived around gray whales and orcas in the Pacific Northwest in Canada for a long time. So those were kind of the whales that I was kind of always around. But yeah, humpback whales I'd only ever seen like a couple times before that, but I would meditate with them all the time. So being in the water was I was like, yeah, this is them. This is who I've been feeling. So yeah, you don't have to, because I know there's probably a lot of people listening that, maybe aren't anywhere close to being able to see a humpback whale right now, but you really can just call them in, go to YouTube, look for their songs on YouTube, play them, invite them in to your heart, and they'll be with you because they are very multidimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're having this monthly gathering. What do you call
Yeah.
it? Dolphin.
The Dolphin Healing Collective.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing for everyone who listen. You just have to catch the replays. They are on YouTube.
Yeah, they're on YouTube. Just search
Yeah.
Beth Katherine or Dolphin Healing Collective. You'll find them.
Yeah, I will put the link to it too. But what are you going to? What's your future? Do you know what you're going, or are you just listening from day to day?
With the Dolphin Healing Collective specifically, or just my work
Yes.
in general?
Yes.
The Dolphin
Your
Healing
work in
Collective.
general.
Okay, so I probably the next biggest thing is to take another jump and start to create retreats to swim with the dolphins and the whales. My first one will be next year. I'm just in the very beginning stages of planning that. So yes, that's super exciting for me and something that will be used to traveling by myself and not having to figure out a lot of other stuff for other people. So I'm like, yeah, I got this. But I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm really excited about that. I want to get to the place probably where I'm doing 2 retreats, maybe 3 retreats a year with the wild dolphins and the whales. And yeah, right now I honestly just want to, I'm launching Dolphin Consciousness again soon, and then my angelic journey with the Sacred Flames next year after that. And I really just am so excited to just keep sharing dolphin and whale and angel magic, and get a lot more meditations on YouTube now that I'm going to be traveling less. Yeah. And I didn't know what's going to happen. We're just going to see. Oh, the other thing too is I want to do local, because I just moved to an area called Byron Bay, and it's just the whales and dolphin energy here is so strong. There's so many mermaid and like mermaids around in human bodies. So I'm also excited to do some in-person gatherings, dolphin consciousness activations, and just really awaken the ocean beings to who they really are, because we need everyone to like wake up to, yeah, I actually have been a whale, or I have been a dolphin, or I have been a mermaid, or I have been, this oceanic creature, and I'm here on a mission, and I'm here to listen to the turtles, and I'm here to listen to the water, and I'm here to really show up for her, and not just have this idea that I love the ocean and that's it, because there's so much more to it.
Absolutely. And as you said, that Mother Ocean, when you step into her, if you feel that you're a mer being, you feel home. And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful to have something to, because I think we feel that, what can I do for her? Or how can we help the dolphins and the whales and all the creature in the ocean? And you're such a beautiful bridge, because I think that maybe we need to do both the physical health, and to spread the word what's going on and what they really are going through, but also working with ourselves. I think you mentioned that in the last call, to really work with ourselves too, and to raise our
Yeah.
vibration, and to be more conscious.
Yeah, because it's there's nothing really wrong with the whales and the dolphins. It's the humans that are fucked up, right?
Exactly.
So they're like, okay, whales and dolphins, like, how can we help you? Like, what do you need? They're like, we need you to wake up.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
let's do it.
Yes. And the more we are that wake up, the easier it will be. So,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we are going to wrap this up a little bit. But do you want to share anything more? Because I
Yeah,
feel
well, I would have loved to close with a short meditation so people can actually really get an experience of that. I'd love to channel a little meditation. And what came through was, I think based on your work, intuitively, I'm feeling that there's women who are listening, and maybe some beautiful mermen and beautiful just other angels. But I could feel that there are women listening with that womb trauma, and that like it, I can feel the just intuitive energy coming up. So I'd actually love to do a short transmission with the orcas, which is what I was saying before, on how they can really help with our wombs, and really, working with these beings. It's not just, just to be really clear, it's not just, okay, you dolphins, yay, like so much light. Okay, just more light, and we're just gonna let go of all the other stuff. Like, no, it's like it's embodied, and it's, when the orcas, we work with the orcas and the humpback whales too, the womb power is like, whoa, the humpback whale womb power, the whale womb power is amazing. And it's a really embodied experience. It also brings us, especially more like with the baleen whales, into the stillness. And then when we work with the orcas, they have the black and the white. They have the beauty of the deep womb, the space of no thing, the black womb, and they have that white of that pure white light. So I think just to give people a bit more of an example, we can talk about it and I can try to share things, but I think I do best when I just guide people through meditations.
Yes, I absolutely love it.
Okay, great. So yeah, shall we start? Can I just go ahead
Yes,
and
just start.
okay. So
Mm.
closing your eyes and taking a deep breath in as we invite the beautiful Ascended Mermaid Collective to be with every single person who is listening. We invite the whales and the dolphins of divine light to be with every single person who is listening. And I want you to just feel your higher self light above your head, like this beautiful golden white ball of light. And imagining that there are dolphins coming in to join your higher self light. And together, this light and the dolphins are spiraling down together through your crown chakra first. And it looks to me like DNA would look if it was spiraling around in motion, like your higher self light is coming in and then the dolphins are spiraling around it as that comes down into your crown chakra. And we set the intention to open our crown level vortex to our higher self light, our divinity, and the dolphins of divine light, preparing us for a deeper activation as this light comes down to the third eye, the throat chakra, the heart, filling your heart with the dolphin and higher self codes of light, and then allowing your solar plexus and your sacral chakra to be filled up with this light. And then your root chakra, feeling your higher self fill your legs, your feet. And then coming back to your sacral chakra, your womb. And if you don't have a womb, just work with your sacral at this point. And we invite in the beautiful orcas. I call upon my orca soul family of divine light to come with every person who's listening, to join them with their higher self's permission. And you can just visualize these beautiful orcas and killer whales beginning to swim around you, swim in circles around your womb, around your sacral, and allowing your higher self to go and find any places of trauma within your womb or within your sacral, including any ancestral trauma, any sexual trauma. And take a deep breath and imagine that you're bringing it up and you are sending it over, you're handing it over to the orcas, maybe through the breath, maybe it stays in your womb, or maybe you place your hands out and offer it to them, and allow the orcas of divine light and their beautiful soul family to come in and to, first, they're blessing it with sonar, and they're beginning to break up the density of this energy. Because yes, it feels like a lot. It can feel like a heavy weight. But in reality, it is still just frequency. It is still just energy. So allowing the orcas to send sonar and to send sound to begin to break up the density of this energy. And the dolphins are also here as well. And just imagine that it's starting to break up, and it's starting to break up, and it's starting to break up. And imagine actually that the whales, the dolphins, the orcas, they're actually playing with it. They're like batting it with their tails, and they're beginning to like tenderize it. It's like a meat that they're tenderizing, and just breaking it up more and more with their sounds and playing with it. And they're not so serious about it, though they acknowledge that there's a lot of pain that has come from what we're working with, and they honor that and they bless you. They're also bringing this levity and this lightness as now they begin to eat it, and they begin to pass it through their light bodies and to send it through the violet flame of source. And so imagine that every time they eat it, it's going through the violet flame of their bodies, the violet flame of transmutation. With your higher self's permission only, they're going to work with you and they're going to help you. Whatever your soul is a yes to. And just allow however they're showing up now, whether they're eating it, whether they're playing with it, whether they're blasting it with their sonar, and imagine them just having, as you say in English, like a whale of a time. Like they're like having so much fun. And they love cleaning it up. They love cleansing it. They love getting to the root of it. And imagine that there's this place within you that's the very root of womb trauma. That's the very root of sacral trauma. And imagine that they are just, it's like it's roots, and they're just like taking their power and their strength, and they might even chomp on it with their mouths, and they're just bringing up, they're ripping the roots of that out, and they are just blasting it with sonar, and it just explodes into sparkles of light as they return it to source consciousness for the highest healing of all involved. So taking a deep breath in as this beautiful mother orca comes forth now and begins to replace where there's empty space now with beautiful divine mother light. And she's like, you can trust us. We're only a little savage when it comes to your density, and we will definitely respect and honor your inner child. And we are very gentle with you. Make no mistake. They're just wanting to show you how much fun you can have and how it doesn't all have to be so serious to heal. This is the blessing that the orcas, the dolphins, bring us. And so this divine mother orca whale is just sending divine mother codes, mother ocean codes of light. And orcas, if you know anything about orcas, they are such beautiful mothers. They take such beautiful care of their babies, and their babies stay with them for their whole lives. Typically, they stay as a family unit with the matriarch as the leader, as their society. So this divine mother blessing from the orca is really channeling through this care of divine mother into your womb and into your sacral, and allow yourself to receive it. Allow yourself to surrender into divine mother oceanic love. We just ask your higher self to help you to say, yes, I'm willing to receive oceanic divine mother love. I'm willing to relax my womb. I'm willing to relax my sacral. And just feel sincere here. The orcas just sending a final sonar blessing into your womb, into your sacral, activating the divine template of your sacral chakra, activating your true relationship with the divine mother as they begin to work with your own soul family, your higher self, to connect you into your receptive energy flow. They're healing our receptivity because they are masters of receptivity, the orcas and the dolphins. And they're masters of that connection to the divine mother. So they're healing this connection between your sacral and how you're able to receive from the Divine Mother. And this includes how you're able to receive abundance, love, opportunities, joy. So take 2 more deep breaths in your sacral and just imagine that you're receiving all this love from the Divine Mother, healing that connection, that cord of receptivity, like an umbilical cord to the Divine Mother. Receiving that in your womb, in your sacral, receiving Divine Mother's love. Yay, there we go. And just feeling it is safe for me to receive Divine Mother's love. It is safe for me to let the whales and the dolphins of love to bless me, to help me to heal, to help me to remember that deep connection to my soul's Divine Mother, and that she's always sending me milk and honey, milk and honey money, milk and honey love, milk and honey blessings. It's just about, are we allowing ourselves to soften and say, yes, I'm willing to surrender and remember the ways of the Divine Feminine and the Divine Mother, which is so much about receptivity and surrender, receptivity and surrender, surrender so we can receive, surrender and receive. And take 2 more deep breaths just to anchor that in. And allowing the Ascended Mermaid Collective to hold your field, bless your field as we gently come back, asking the Ascended Mermaid Collective to send lots of unconditional love into your aura, into your heart, giving yourself permission to just love yourself, to love your womb, and to love all that feels unlovable, because it is actually beauty. It is compost for the Divine Mother to create more beauty with. And so it is. Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you. I love that.
So much better to just go into the experience, like rather than me talking about it, right? I can talk about it or I can show you.
Exactly. I can feel that too. You can talk and try to explain, and it doesn't give the right energy of it. So thank you for that. Absolutely amazing.
Yay. You're welcome.
So if they want to have more of you, where do they go?
Yeah, so one thing that you mentioned, you can join our Dolphin Healing Collective calls, which are mostly monthly. They will be typically monthly now, just after I'm traveling a little tiny bit more next week, and then I'm done. So then I can actually have a bit of a normal structure. So the Dolphin Healing Collective calls are free, and they're basically, to bless the dolphins, the whales, and the ocean, and to receive blessings from the dolphins, the whales, and the ocean. So that is a great way to just connect in, and once a month or so, we can meet. And then obviously you can come to my Instagram or my YouTube, but if you want to deep dive and if you really want to transform deeply, I do have some courses. I'll have one that's going to be live in a very deep dive coming up within the next month or two, called Dolphin Consciousness. And I also have a self-study program. If you're just right away, you're like, what is this? I need it. You can go to my website and jump into Mermaids of the Rose, which is an incredible journey with the Syrians, the Lemurians, the Venusians, working with the mermaid energy, the dolphins, the whales, and also the white lions of Sirius, to activate and to heal Atlantean trauma, and to really reclaim our mermaid codes and our Lemurian codes as well. So that's an option as well.
Oh, so easy. And I will put all the links where the
Yes.
podcast
And
are too, so
you
they can
can,
just go there and click on the link and come to your
yeah,
magic spaces.
come hang out. And I also do one-on-one sessions as well. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, there are a few options as well to connect one-on-one. And I do work with people's angels as well. You know, we didn't so much bring the angels in today, but yeah, we got all the beings.
Exactly. That would be for another day.
Yeah, that'll be another. We could all have a whole angel call.
Yes, exactly. Because that's another magic topic for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, beautiful Beth, for being here with me. This was such a joy, and I'm so happy that you took your time and said yes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
And
you so
thank
much for
you. Yeah. And thank you everybody who listened. So bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If this was touching you, please feel free to share. And to find out more, check out the links below.